If Elliot Cohen is here, Elliot?
Hello? Oh, hi. I'm Elliot Cohen. Although I do sing and play guitar, on a night with wonderful David Amram and all this great talent here, I decided to leave my guitar by my desk over there and just talk a little bit. I've been a photographer and a music journalist for well over 30 years. And I was very honored to interview Pete on many occasions and photograph, and usually thanks to Tiny over there who arranged it. And the very first time I called Pete to interview him, I was very nervous. And in the middle of the interview, he starts singing. He starts singing, We'll All Be Doubling in 32 Years. So I mean, I've done like over 1,000 interviews. No one has ever started singing to me. I'm looking at the phone, and here's like one of the world's greatest music icons, and he's singing to me. So when I was working on my first story on Pete, I'm actually working on a book on him, I decided to call up a bunch of other famous musicians to talk about Pete. And everybody was very generous with their time. I got to speak to Arlo Guthrie, Peter Yarrow, Paul Stuckey, Judy Collins, John Sebastian, David Crosby, Arlo Guthrie, Roger McGuinn. Everybody was very, very generous with their time. And last night I just happened to be listening to my interview with Harry Belafonte. This was not about 5 years ago, so Pete was still alive. And he said to me, you know, I just got through doing this book tour. He had an autobiography, and he was going over to Barnes & Noble, and he was doing a lot of press. And he said, I made up my mind, you know, I've said everything that I had to say, and I wasn't going to do any more interviews, but he said, since Pete recommended you, and he says, Pete only gives love to people, you know, I'm very honored to speak with you. So he spoke for like over an hour. I thought he would cut me off after like 10 minutes, but he spoke with me over an hour. And anyway, the final thing I want to say, my lovely wife Ingrid Health is over there, who's going to sing in a little while. And Ingrid has been the vice president of New Jersey Clearwater for how many years, Ingrid?
4 or 5.
How many?
Maybe longer.
Oh, okay. So anyway, when I got to know Ingrid, you know, I guess I've been a photojournalist for over 30 years, and everybody I've interviewed or done a photo shoot with, I've made sure to get my picture taken with, just as a way to document my own career. And at that point, Ingrid told me she had known Pete Seeger for over 10 years, and that she had driven from Ocean Grove, New Jersey, where we live, which is 150 miles, every month for like over 10 years. So if you multiply 12 times a year times 10 years, you can figure out how many times Ingrid sang with Pete. So I said to Ingrid, I said, you know, have you ever had your picture taken with Pete? And she said no. So this was 5 years ago, probably November of 2013, and Tiny was nice enough to invite us to Beth Israel Hospital, where Pete was being honored. So Pete is standing there, and I'm screaming at Ingrid, get in the picture, blank picture. The publicist comes over to me and she says, excuse me, is something wrong? Anyway, I pushed Ingrid into the picture. Here's the picture, which now is framed in our home. It's the first thing that people see when they come in. And I said, see, aren't you glad you have this picture? So, you know, I'm very glad that I pushed Ingrid into taking it. So that's what all I have to say. I'm also working on a book on Pete Seeger, a combination of my interviews and photographs with him, and I'm going to be interviewing some more people about him. I hope to get Bruce Springsteen, because I have a Springsteen connection, to talk about a book, and I hope to get it out before next year for the centennial. So thank you.